Hey guys, welcome back to Iron Lotus Martial Arts, the world leader in discipleship-focused martial arts. Joining me today, Sensei Evan. I'm Shion Spencer. Today we're going to be digging deep into the principles of motion for circling the moon. Now, I know a lot of other Kenpo traditions out there have a similar named technique or even a similar style technique, but this is going to be our expression of circling the moon. Now, where we get the name for this particular technique is we have an orbit, okay? So circling around the moon. We're talking about orbits here. And so the big picture, the shape of the technique, which I guess in other traditions, they'll call them forms, which makes shapes, right? So the shape, the big picture shape of the technique is I'm going to be traveling around my opponent to get behind him, okay? So that's where the name comes from in circling the moon. Now, one of the first things that the principles of motion that we're going to be dealing with here is the center line, okay? So he's going to throw this punch, perfectly executed ram's head punch through his center line, and I'm going to get off his axis here to get around center line, okay? So that starts my orbiting as I'm striking through, right? So the next thing we're going to do is what we call, you can go ahead and relax that, the eagle claw, okay? Or sorry, the eagle fang is what we're going to call it today. But a lot of traditions are going to call this the eagle beak, okay? Because of recent events, we're going to call it eagle fang just for fun, because reasons, okay? We're going to take this middle finger knuckle, and we're going to protrude that up. I'm going to roll it. I'm going to back it up with my index and my ring finger, and then my pinky is going to back those up, and then my fist here, or my thumb, is going to close that fist, and it's going to make that nice and hard, okay? And you're not driving it this way, you're hooking it kind of this way, okay? So that's a concept on your eagle beak or eagle fang. So we're cutting. Another big mistake that a lot of people make is they won't step close enough. I'm in line with his knee right here, and I should be in line with about his center of mass. So I should be lunging here. As I'm lunging, I've got my parry, and now I can go ahead and step through, and I'm going to float the foot, and I'm going to connect it with my back fist to his kidneys, okay? Now, I like to also land that kind of in a dragon stance, okay? But if I don't get that, that's fine too, okay? But that dragon stance allows me to twist as I drive through, okay? So from here, again, we're dodging, we're slipping. Here, eagle beak, floating rib. Typically, you take the eagle beak, we're going to go to the soft targets, okay? For all intents and purposes today, floating rib, being that it's not really connected, is a soft target for us. So we want to try to damage that or break it on the way through. So we're hitting that floating rib, boom. I'm going to land my floating foot principle, here on my kidney, okay, shot with a back fist. And for the purpose of driving power, I'm turning this foot as I land and turn my hip, okay? Now I'm going to shoot. I have to create space here, okay? So I need to shoot my my left foot between my right foot and his right foot, his back foot here. So when we get to this point, this is going to allow us, if I'm really too close, I can elbow. But the idea is to be about this far away to where I can go back fist here. And this is going to flow from my kidney shot, back fist, hook, hook. From here, I'm going to reset my stance and rebound. I'm pulling him off balance, unbalancing my opponent. There's another principle there for you. Unbalancing my opponent, pulling him back, okay? And I can rebound off this foot. So rebound is, boom, getting that ground force reaction right here. So now, a couple targets to think about. A traditional way was knee to the spine, okay? Or you could go knee to the tailbone, okay? None of those feel great. Something that's a little softer to de-escalate the amount of force you're putting on your opponent here is you can go kick to the knee pit, the anterior knee there, and drop him spine onto your knee. Now, I need a hard bow stance here because if I'm in soft bow, I'm going to collapse. So hard bow stance here, and right here, I'm going to take the anterior elbow strike, boop, across his face as I bring it up, boom, back fist, drop him, and I'm going to take the tiger claws, and I'm going to rake through just like I'm bowling. And my goal here is to hook his nose or his eyes, okay? Not going to feel great, okay? There's a lot of lethality in this technique, okay? There's a lot of over-the-top force that we don't necessarily need in every circumstance. Realistically speaking, this could be enough, and when we drill this with our students, we always start phase 1 here, okay? I'm learning how to move and put myself in that position, okay? But now I can turn, right? And then from here, I can go to a chokehold or something else. I don't have to break his neck. I don't have to drop him and put him on the ground and then claw through, we can de-escalate and escalate our situations as we need, okay? So again, major principles, okay? Orbiting around, moving up the clock face, moving off that center line axis to where I have the tactical advantage. Boom. Principle 1, stepping in, lunging, striking. Principle 2, back fist, floating the foot, landing that foot just after impact, okay? Striking through, back fist, hook, okay? I like to kick my foot back when I get my hook, okay? Sometimes that helps depending on which style you need. If he's big, okay, like bigger than you, you might need to get your hook, then step and pull. If he's about the same size as you, I like to step as I hook because I'm going to start getting that here, and now I can get my kick in quicker, okay? So it depends on the timing. You can always reshape and retime your forms due to your circumstance, okay? So timing, huge. Floating foot, huge. Power principles, rotational force. Okay, continuity of motion is probably the biggest one in here. Continuity of motion is one technique flows from another to another to another. So where do we see that? He throws a punch. Here, I'm stepping. Here, stepping, flowing. And now we've got the flow moving through all of these different techniques is going to allow us to flow with that continuity of motion. So there is a kind of a down and dirty principles of motion for the technique of circling the moon. Hope you guys enjoy. Hit like, subscribe, all those fun things on there, and we'll see you on the next video.